Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Subway Builder, where we're continuing to build this beautiful New York City subway network transit company. And last episode we did some big expansions. We actually didn't work within New York, we actually worked within New Jersey and created the big beautiful brown line leading all the way down to this peninsula, which then entitled me to create the orange line and our brand new lilac line. You can tell I'm now starting to run out of colours, which now crosses from New Jersey into the heart of the financial district within Manhattan and then all the way into Brooklyn. Now, what we're going to do today is we're actually going to transform that lilac line. And I've kind of had the good idea that we can get from the two airports. So we've got JFK over here, and I believe this is Newark Airport in New Jersey. And I thought it'd be quite a good idea. Like, if you had a flight connecting in New York City, you could have the option to land in Newark, and then your connecting flight was in JFK. You just hop on the subway line that connects to both of them. I thought it would be a good idea. I'm not sure if it's going to be a good idea right now. It will mean that I get to extend more through Brooklyn, which what we discovered with the pink line right now sometimes can be a bad idea if you've got no line supporting it. Not too much going on over here in New Jersey, but when you check the workers, there is big worker circles at both airports, which completely makes sense. So we're hopefully going to be able to select and pick up a few more people. Now, by doing this, I'm also going to extend a couple of my other lines. And I'm going to throw it out there right now, this area here in Manhattan, I want to delete it all and redo it all again. I'll explain about that a little bit later, but if you are enjoying these Subway Builder episodes, I really do appreciate if you guys could smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new. Don't rely on that recommended tab, boys. It never gives you the videos when I do drop them. So subscribe to be notified. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it right now. So I think then we should start by kind of setting up the runs to the airports. Now, I think the easiest one to do will be going to the Newark airport over here. So I think we'll start with JFK. Well, we've got the majority of our money right now. So let's see where the demand circles are for these. So they are more inside of it. So we're going to be having to push people all the way in. Now, I don't know whether to maybe look towards dropping down a quad station so it gives me a little bit more flexibility when it comes to utilizing it. I think that would be the great and the better option. And I don't know really where to put it because it's an airport, but it will be all underground. That's all we're going to know. It's going to be all underground. So we'll go quad. I'll keep it to a 5. I don't see there being much of an issue with this. I'm just going to put the quad station to somewhere here, solely because it's within the middle of all of this. Granted, there's one there, so we could probably connect. Let me pin this. Right, workers, and I'll do another quad station, so quad parallel, it's at a 5, and we'll do one I'll do it just there. There we go. And I'll do one last one just here. Now, I know they're 3 close by, but it gets to the main terminals, a few extra terminals, and then some outskirt buildings for like car parks and whatnot. And then the quad can split, go straight ahead or turn left, which for us, it's going to turn left. And then we've got to figure out the depths. Actually, figuring out the depths, I just realized, let me undo this one. Let me make this last one a -10, because this is where the crossover is going to happen. So it'll be one last crossover before this gets out of here. Picks up a couple of residents, all that sweet jazz. And now we've got to figure out how we're bringing this all the way over. Now, our lilac line is just here. So we could, in theory, keep extending. Now, would there be a kind of a moment where the lines link? I feel like this could become quite an important route. So I'm starting to think right now, does it make sense for me to just keep building quad stations? And if we don't utilize them, we don't utilize them, but we always have that option in the future. Maybe, but if I'm being real with you right now, I feel like quad stations need to be built a little bit deeper than usual so we can play around with depths and whatnot. It's a tricky one. It is a tricky one right now, but it's going to run down this road here. And then Oh, do you know what? That's actually quite easy. Running down this road, I've just got to figure out how to connect to this road and then run with it and then through there. And then, okay, that's a lot. Right, it's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I just think it's going to be pretty expensive. Now, will that be the only line that links over here? I don't think so. I think we might have something like where this green line will maybe come across and go to the airport as well. So I feel like around here, we'll have two lines merging in. So I think this is where we build the quad station setup now. So I'll keep the quadness going to a certain extent. Right, this is all workers. Can I view it on residents? So demand status, so pin the residents. Wait, get back to residents. There we go. I don't know what's going on there. Quad station. So that should do us. So you know what? We'll keep it quad for this area. So doing multiple stops is going to be super beneficial for us. And I'll do one just here. And then we're coming into the heart of this area now where there's more people to get. And I'll do one just there. So it becomes relatively quite easy to work with. Now we're a -10. So this is where we either bend around and come down, which is probably the better option for us. So doing multiple stops now. Because I'm doing quad station, we could actually utilize one of these lines to be like more of an express route, which I think will be pretty handy. So it means it kind of like hopscotches certain stops. Oh, hold on, let me undo this. Is that our connecting one, or do I need one more? Because this is where we're now going to split, isn't it? So, right. I could actually do it underneath. So if I kind of put one at a slight angle, like this, and that becomes our connecting one. And I'm going to go back to parallel because I am spending quite a bit of money. Let me go fast forward. So, we're back in business, and we'll then return back to -5 as we do the rest of this power line. I mean, just double check it is this road. It is this road. Okay, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So we'll do a stop then here. So this should be all parallel, -5, cheap as you would like. All right, there we go. And then keep them nicely spaced out. And then one last one just here. And then that lilac line can now fully extend. But it links up to a dual station that also runs parallel to the airport. This is going to be an expensive one. I feel like it's just getting more and more expensive as we now go, which is wild. So it will connect up to the first one then, but it kind of sets us up nicely for having other lines kind of dwindle through. And we will have other stuff that kind of connects up, where this will go up and it will kind of connect to like branches, and we'll eventually do like one big loop and whatnot. So we are planning ourselves pretty nice. Now, obviously, we've got this coming down, which is going to be a line that kind of crosses over one of these stations to come down. Or that could form part of another loop, but it's on that. It could work. Actually, it could be the outskirts of the loop going around this way. Maybe. There's many possibilities. This is what I'm kind of like enjoying about all of this. Right, so the costs then currently are 2.85 billion. Billy with a B. Let that sink in for a second. And let's now see if we can get this all up and running. So we're pretty much running on the Broadway right now, which is interesting. And let me connect this coming down to there. Oh, hello, hello, hello. All right, we're following Broadway, boys. We're following Broadway. Nice. Right, keep it real simple. And then it gets a little bit interesting, and we'll have to build the setup then here. So, of course, we can't do -5 here. So we'll have to do -10, and it's okay. And then we'll make that one drop down to a -15. So from -10 to there, the gradient should be okay to do it, which it's completely fine. Now, the rest of this, we go back to -5, but this is all going to be quad station now. Right, okay, maybe not. Okay, just go to there. Because you got to play with the buildings there. I didn't realize we're so close. Right, that's fine. We're now back to 5s. So I can run some of it somewhat okay. Hold on. Are all these stations at -5 or are they at -10? It's kind of difficult to tell, isn't it? Right, this is going to be an interesting wiggle. We've got to do what we've got to do, boys. Unfortunately, we've got to do what we've got to do. Right, all this extra track right now is expensive. It's super expensive. Right, nice long journey there. Straight in. And then ye old bend. If I go to there, I like to follow the road line as well. And then bend you round to connect you in. And this is interesting because hypothetically, I want to do the quad going that way as well. So we're going to have to play around with something real interesting here. So if I just bend that in, eventually we'll have something come off that sinks a bit lower to continue to go straight. Unless we run it in on different kind of areas. Who knows? It just gives us possibilities, but it's something I'm not going to worry about just yet. We don't need to worry about it just yet. Right, that's in. And I just then need to add my crossovers. I can add them here, but it doesn't work for the outer. It doesn't work for it. So I've got two options. I could either split them into separate stations. So I can do the crossover for the middle, which is great. But you can't kind of cross them over. You have to do something a little bit different. But I'm not going to worry about it yet, because I don't have that other line running here. But what I do know is the line that does run there and uses the crisscross is the one that runs in the middle. So that is... It's actually quite a big extension, isn't it, now looking at it? Could this lilac line start rivaling my other lines? Potentially. It could potentially. Right, with that said, the cost of this is $4 billion. Is this the most expensive, or is this the most money I've spent in one go? I think this is going to be the most expensive I spent in one go. And it is a mixture of using the quad lines that becomes super expensive as well. You know, there's not really much we can kind of low-key do about that. But when it comes to revenue, we'll come off that for just a second and wait for the money to roll in. When it comes to revenue right now, if I go on the daily, we are making an operational profit of over $1 billion a day. So basically, it's 4 days of profit I'm now about to spend. Now, I could increase ticket prices. And if you were here on my last Subway Builder live stream, where we're continuing to build a beautiful subway network in Honolulu, Hawaii, we discovered something quite interesting. Now, if you're quite busy, it doesn't hurt to increase the ticket price at this stage. Because right now, I'm not focusing on transporting the most amount of people. Right now, I'm trying to focus on making the most amount of money to expand my company before I focus on transporting the most amount of people. Because my network is not really set up yet for mass transit. So the idea was, if I increase the ticket price, let's just say to $6, we're going to lose people. We know that. We know raising the ticket price loses passengers because they find it cheaper to either then walk or drive. But what we're saying is, if, right, this is the big if, we're trying to see if we can make more money on the people who continue to use my subway network versus the money we lose for people who decide it's too much, right, it's too expensive. So if we make more money in the people that stay versus the people then we lose, we technically make more money and then reduce congestion on my lines. You see where that's going? But that only works is if the additional money we make from the people who continue to use it outweighs the money we lose for the people who deem it too expensive. And if that works, you make more money, you have less passengers overloading your trains. Because at the end of the day, there's a limit to how much money you can make. If all my trains were max capacity, I can't make any more money because I can't get anybody else on the train. So, increase the ticket price. The old supply and demand game, boys. It's the old game of supply and demand right now. What a scam. What an actual scam right now. So, it'll be kind of interesting to see how that now changes on the operational profit, how much more money increasing the ticket price by $2 is actually going to do. And do we see less issues on the train routes now at that point? I don't know. We're still getting warnings popping up anyway, so it's one of those things. Anywho, boys, we are going to spend $4 billion anyway, so I can now build the blueprints. Bam. Blueprints, hold on, the game's thinking about it, have just been built. So let's now extend the lilac line. And let's edit the route. So this is now going to have to incorporate so many stops. And I'll make the other line that connects to this be the express line. So in reality, I didn't really need to kind of have quad stops, but I kind of did, just to make it easier to align the train lines and stuff like that and bypass the station. So it kind of does work out. So I think it will be fine. Right, so that works. We've got double stops on all of them except from that one, which is the end one. Coming into there. Great. Let me just confirm those changes. And then, of course, the trains, we need to increase the frequency of these. So I need to buy a few more trains real quick. I can buy 20, but that's still not going to be enough. So I have to put it into play mode for a second. Just until we've got enough revenue to buy a couple of more trains. So ideally, we want to buy $100 million worth of trains. Which we're almost getting there. So that lilac line is going to be taking a beating right now. Right, buy them. Right, increase the frequency. Oh, we need to buy even more trains. Right, can I buy another $100 million worth of trains? That's 200. What am I doing? That's 200. There we go, buy. And I'm going to go 20. I know that seems wild, but it's going to be quite a busy route, that is. So bringing this down to 10 minutes, which will give it 10 trains. And then we'll do 15 minutes, we'll give it 6. Okay, so that line is going to have big issues for quite some time, unfortunately. And especially when I make it even longer to go to Newark, it's going to be even more of a problem. Because we discovered when you put, like the pink line down here, when you put a line out into no man's land, and what I mean by that is into an area that's not supported by other lines, if you fully load the train there, none of the people on all these stops are going to get picked up. It's why you need support lines, but once I build these sticky out bits, we can then start to kind of create connections and it should be all glorious. But we will need multiple routes to the airport. That is a given. So, you know, we're going to set it up quite nice. Right, that's glorious then. I know I've just spent like a ton of money, but my operational profit is skyrocketing, guys. It is skyrocketing right now from increasing those ticket prices. What a scam. What a scam. But I'm not focused on transporting the most amount of people at the minute. I'm trying to make the most amount of money to create a great network. And then once I've created a great network, then we can lower the price and transport the most amount of people. That's when all hell breaks loose. Right, we've got that line connected all the way to there. We need to then get it set up to Newark over here, which is only a smaller extension. It's only a smaller extension. So let's view the stats here. Where are the workers? They're in there. So is it a case of so I've got it set up where it's going to maybe come down here and turn in. So yeah, it makes sense to kind of do it there. But how low is low? So we do a quad station. Yeah, we don't want to delete the airport. Wow, transit growth, 1 million riders served to date. Nice. Will -10 do it? Yeah. So I'll put the quad station here. Okay, and then we'll build off that. Now, Do we assume we need to do quad all the way round? Let me bring up the demand stats. Yes and no. There's a load of workers here. So do I slightly pick them up? I think we need to, unless we create the junction there. Unless we created said junction. Because we're going to have another line come through. So if this was the line that came through like this, we would, of course, need to create quad, baby, quad. But it depends on where these guys want to go. I mean, they want to go everywhere. Imagine landing at Newark and then you wanting to go to just outside JFK. Like, fly to JFK. Yeah. But that shows you why that route's important. To get it all the way to the other airport anyway. Right, let's make a decision right now. So we're going to bring this down, obviously. I want it to kind of come down and then turn to go in. But we want it to get set up where we could have a line that also rips through to go in different directions. But let's just say that this is going to go here first. So let me spinsies this right round. So we could bring it out, follow this going through there, and then cut it that way. Where is it? That's going to kind of cut through here. I can make it go underground anyway. It's fine. But is this the spot where the workers are? No, it's a little bit over there. Again, completely fine. So what we do is we set up a junction. So if I go to build stations and we go quad, and we'll put this one, because like I said, we want multiple. So if I put this at -10, and then I do a, yeah, it can stay at -10. And then we do a -10 quad there. And then we do a -10 quad there. So we want these to go in all three directions, which that in itself is going to be a little bit of a pain. That in itself is going to be a little bit of a pain right now. So if I do parallel, and if I just keep it... oh, I'm on station still, sorry. If I just keep it like this, so if I went like that, the parallel runs there. Simple, right? Super simple. And we can then have one go like, and this is where it gets a little bit more difficult. So we can bring, okay, I can't bring it up by 5. Right, if I just go just to here. If I go just to there, and then we go single, and then we bring this to a 5. Is this the one that goes this way? So that should be a 5 elevation, which should allow me to bend. Now, the reason I can't do that because the elevation's completely off. So let me undo, and let me do this to a 6. I think you only need a 4, right? Oh, there we go. Well, that connects in beautifully there. Now, we know that that's a 5. So I could run, and we got to... Right, that would go like that. And then to go like... It's never that easy. Okay, right. It looks a bit awkward. But it works, okay? Leave me alone. It works. So we're running quads to the station. I can now go back to a -5. Just to try and save a few pennies again. So build station, and we'll do one there. And then we'll do one there. And then... I actually don't know how many people we're picking up, but I'm just going to throw one here. Let me bring this up, because I could be doing these in, like, stupid places, which I am. So let me undo that station. And then we'll just run it directly over there, and that's completely fine. So let me build tracks, quad. Bam. Bam. And I believe I've got to go quite low. I forgot that we're at a -5 here. Right, that does it. I ain't going to argue. That then does it. We've got a little crissy-crossy there. We've got to connect that down to here. Now, that's a quad station as well, so we've got to decide where they split. It's obviously going to be the line that comes in this way. That matches up. And that split, I reckon, happens here. So, back to building stations. Back to a -10. Quad. Ooh, green blockage. Interesting. Which we should be able to go all underneath this. And then we should be able to go to a 5. Or did I want to run this way? It's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, you pick up more passengers this way, but there is a few big circles over there. It's not the end of the world. I don't think. Do you know what? It kind of is the end of the world. Let me undo that. Undo, 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 undo. So, stations, quad, 10. So I'll bring it like this. Do you know what? I'm going to keep this all at a 10. Just for the ease of access. So build tracks there to there, there to there, there to there. And then one turns to obviously go this way. One connects up to there. So we'll make build stations and we'll do a -5. So that's going to run onto here. We'll do one last one there. And I'll do one last one there. So it should be fairly straightforward, this. Oh, I forgot about the ocean depth. Oh, no. Oh, no. I forgot that was a thing. Right, that's easy. Well, let me do this one as well while it's on my mind. Right, there we go. I forgot that was in the most recent update. The depths. Right. That goes in. And then we are able to run all the way to JFK, sorry, to Newark, sorry, and to JFK, sorry. And we've got a few linkages. And there's a moment here where that line then splits. And what will connect up to this, where that green line currently runs, where that then eventually merges back in. So that becomes the express line from airport to... We've got the commuter line to airport, and then we'll have the express line from airport to airport, which I think will work out fairly quite well. So the cost to build this is 3 billion. Luckily for us, we have the money, which is nice. And then once that's done, we'll get that lilac line. And then we'll edit it. So it is pretty long. We get that. But this is our commuter line from airport to airport. We will eventually have, like I said, the express line that goes faster. And how we can make an express line is we make it skip the unimportant stops. So that the journey becomes like so much quicker. Because the game does calculate that. Right, wait for it all to catch up. It's so long, it's taken a while to calculate. This is now my longest line, isn't it? This is now my longest line. It could be also my most used line. Right, we've got stops everywhere. Look how long that is. Oh my goodness me, from airport to airport. To do the whole journey, 1 hour, 34 minutes. Now, that'll be interesting to compare it to the express line that I build. That will be quite interesting. So, let me now increase the frequency of all this. Let me buy a bunch of new trains again. So, I'll spend a fair bit of money here, okay? We'll spend 500 million. There we go. And let's now increase this back down to a 5-minute frequency. The fact that I've got to add this amount... Oh, my goodness me. Right, I'll spend another 500 million. The fact that I've got to add this amount of trains is terrifying. Just to increase the frequency. Right, we'll go 50. We'll round it up to 50. 50, 25, 20. Holy moly. This is dangerous. We're in dangerous territory right now. Right. Now, what that's going to do is completely overload. You know these stops that cross onto other lines? It's going to completely overload them. We've got trains stuck right now, which I get that. We've just extended the line, so now they're all in the wrong places. So I'm just going to give them a minute or two just to kind of figure out what's going down. Because even they don't know what's going down anymore. I've just all of a sudden extended the line out of nowhere. So trains don't know which way they're actually trying to travel. That's the problem. That is the problem. It's like, oh, we got to get to station 30. Wait, hold on. Station 30 is now over here. How do I turn around? That's the issue that they've now got. So, route ridership. The lilac line is our third now most used line. Oh, it was battling. No, yellow and pink were battling then for a second. So pink is our most used one. And lilac is going to push it. It really is going to push it right now. Yellow and pink are just battling it out right now. Battle of the Titans. Right, very good. Very good, boys. Very good. So now that we've got that set up, I think it does make sense for us to kind of configure the express route for all of this. Now, what I'm going to do, I wanted to rework with all of this here. So I'm going to actually now get the green line, and we're going to edit this. And I'm going to remove it from coming here. And then we're going to remove it from coming here and here. And it only needs one stop there. Let me confirm those changes. And let me just quickly edit for a crossover there. And then build those blueprints. Because like I said, I'm going to redo this area down at the peninsula. We're going to completely redo it. So that's now updated the green line, which is great. I then got to do the same thing for the red line here. Because I want it to incorporate this express line from airport to airport as well. So edit the route. Get rid of you. And then get rid of one of you. And then just confirm those changes real quick. Add said crossover. Because the annoying thing about this game is you can't edit lines if the trains are on them. You can't, not lines, sorry, you can't edit tracks. Okay, you can't edit tracks. Right, that's now updated. Right, so there'll be some issues. We're still having issues with the lilac line. Trains removed and stuck. Where are they having problems? Let me just review that line. Like, it doesn't tell us where the issue is we're having. It's like one chain move change to signal blockage. Okay, where's the signal blockage? Why have I done that? Is that a better one? Where's my signal blockage? I'm going to confirm these changes. Because then they're not coming into that part. So that's gonna cause some issues on trains straight away. Because they're in the wrong side. Oh, snap. Okay. Right, let me quickly save the game. I see the issue. I see the issue. I think I've got too many trains. Right, let me overwrite this save. Right, all my trains are lined up here. It's hard to see, but you can just about see them. We've got too many trains. I think it's too many trains for this frequency. Right, now it makes sense. Now, why are they not nicely spaced out? Do you reckon, like, just 50 trains in general is a bit wild? I do think 50 trains in general is a little bit wild. So, trains. We'll do 35. And then now it's moving a bit more. But then does that happen at the opposite end? Yeah, I think 50 was a little bit too much, guys. Why did you make me do 50, guys? I'm just trying to figure out who I can blame, and hopefully it's not me. Right. Let's rejig this then. Let's now rejig this. So this, we need to retransform, like I said. So if I now go to delete tracks, and we'll delete the stations to begin with. So there's a lot of individual deleting I've got to do, which will be slightly annoying. And remember I wanted to get like another red station around here. It now gives me the chance to build it. Right, get rid of that station there, because I'm just going to get rid of it all and then redo it. Okay, completely redo it right now. So, we're going to have that express route kind of come in. It's going to use the outskirts of the quad lane, there we go. And it's going to run down here, go through there, and then through here. And then off it goes. So, I don't need the quad station that way. I need it this way, as we have the red line and the green line coming in. Now, I want the red line to kind of come down, and I want the green line to go this way. So I want them to kind of extend and split. So that should work out fairly well. So let me just see where the demand mainly is. Okay, so one smack bang in the middle is perfect, providing I do the right depth. So if I go to a 10, I'm going to have to go down to a 15. Even then, that's a big no-no. So where's best? There. here is best, isn't it? Yeah. So, build station. Oh, what happened? Where's my quad? So, build quad station here. Now, I just want to extend some track. No. Or undo. Now, this is going to be super expensive, but just for the sake of being able to... Even at minus 20. Right, let me check these minimum build depths. Okay. Right, okay, that's interesting. Now, I can go minus 30, but the issue is the deeper I go, the elevation to get here is going to be even more difficult. So if I went there, that should be fine, he says. That should be fine. So I'm going to allow, or I'm going to get, let's split the difference now and let's do a 15 parallel station. That's not a station. It is a station. What am I doing? 15 parallel station there. So the idea then is with this track, we're able to, let me turn it, gradient the elevation going up. Right, that works there. So obviously the outer is going to have to go to this station, but it's such a dramatic turn here, isn't it? So we have to do it in stages. So can I go to a 20? Right, a 25. Okay, 25 there works. And let me now bring this up to a... Right. What was the depth of that then? Right, let me undo that again. So let me go to a... Let me do track elevations, by the way. So to a 20 is a bit too much. To a 25. Even a 25 we can't do? I'm confused. I'm confused there because it didn't go great. Oh, it's because I got the elevations on. Right, ignore me. Completely ignore me right there. Completely ignore me. Right, so I can cross. Can't cross at a 20. But I should be able to cross at a 25. Yes. So bringing this out to there. To then swooping it this way. So bringing you to there. Swooping you in. So that gives me my crisscross, but I've got to get it connected to there right now. So if I do a parallel here, the gradient works perfect. So, all right, track is too sharp. That's fine. So if I just quickly delete that little bit and then go build singular tracks, I can't even see the thing. Right. There we go. Right, that brings them both into the same station. And then what they'll eventually do is then one will go this way to kind of link with the pink line, which will be the red one, and then it will kind of then go down this way. And then the green line will kind of link down here to then eventually merge up with the brown line further down here. More interconnectivity to bring those people into the heart of this area. But the whole point of that was, now that's going to be so deep, this. So I then, back to the building depths, need to strategically place this. So if I go for a... Right, we've still got too many trains. I can get away with a -20. Which we will link up to over here. We did have a station here already, so, you know, it's what it is, boys. And I'm going to say that this is a -10, right? No? We'll go -15 then. Undo that. There we go. Yeah, we've got too many trains in that lilac line. So that works, and then I've got to bring it all the way down to here. So, this is my next issue, isn't it? That's a 5, that's a 10, so this needs to be a 15. So I drop you there, and I've just now got to create this, which it should be... It should be easy. It's just, I got to figure out where the crossing point is. So if I just kind of slightly come out... to then connect, that does the job. Right, we're back in business. And then to save a few pennies, not like I need to save many pennies. But then we'll do a stop every so often. Oh, that's... No. That's not... That's single. Now, this is technically our express line. I've just realised. So, it's going to do quite a few stops here, though. That's my next issue. So, do I do this as also a quad? So, I could potentially have a commuter line that runs through this as well. Do you know what? I think I'm gonna set it up like that. So if I just quickly delete this station, and if I go to build station, go quad, and then put that like here. Now all this will be quad, but our express line is only going to stop at some. And then we're going to have another separate commuter line that works with it. So we're creating an express line to the airport, but also integrating other train lines. So I've got to switch over to that in a minute. So if I do one more stop here, and then we do U there, and then we'll merge that in with that. So parallel, station, and then we'll figure something out at a later date. It just kind of gives me the versatility to play around with that. So this will be a tight bend. Right, I've got to take some trains off that line, by the way. But with the addition of this new express line from airport to airport, I can take the trains off. It will make sense. Right, there we go. There we go. And then all I got to do is just delete this one here. And I'll delete that one as well. I just want to run first like a parallel, which is -5 out. Just to kind of, just go there. I don't know where it's going to go yet. I don't know where it's going to go. And I can't run that like that because the whole thing needs to be -10. Right? Right? -15? Oh, I've got to avoid that building. There we go. See, I know what I'm doing. He says, famous last words. And then we've got the ability to then potentially use... Right, if I delete them tracks. Parallel coming out to pretty much go wherever we want. Right, that's all connected down to there. That's now got to be connected over to here, which we've got to now, you know, travel the deep depths of the ocean. Right, let me get this down to a -20. All right, no problemos. No problemos, boys. No problemos. Okay, that's glorious. That then works. And I'm liking the fact that we've got additional stations where we can create other routes to kind of connect. It's pretty handy. It is pretty handy. So we've got to run this to where it would then eventually connect here. So back to normal right now. We're going to go back to normal, boys. And we're going to drop in a -5. So we'll do a stop there. That's not a stop. Do a stop there. One just before we leave. And then we're coming in. We'll do a stop there. No, we're going to have to go a bit deeper here. But we incorporate a stop here. And it's got to merge onto here as well, by the way. So we'll stick to a -10. So I'll do that there. We'll do that there. And then we'll go through the station here. Because there's some deeper buildings there. Which will then lead us into here. And that should work out. That should work out, he says. Build some tracks. So we're at a -10 still. Providing it doesn't oof any of these, we're okay. Now we can go back to -5 on these, I believe, until we come to the depths. Which we will drop down a bit more. Or not. Oh, I just realized it's a -8. $12, maybe? 10? Oh, 8. It's going to be 13, right? Oh, I just realized it's -8 there. I wasn't even paying attention. It's -8 there. Right, okay, let me delete that station. Build a station. Absolutely oblivious to that I was. Absolutely oblivious. So we'll bring this clear cut over to here. And then we just got to incorporate the singulars. So you would go there. You. Now, we got to go deeper. Yes, is the answer. There we go. Easy, he says. Right, where do we not have the connection? Oh, here. Okay, we don't have the connection there. So that's got to go down very deep. Okay, so minus 25 parallel. Right, that does it. Now, the only issues I've now got is either end of the stations. So, like here on the outskirts, it's a little bit more difficult to do the Crissy-Crossy because it technically doesn't exist. But I think there is like a little bit of a cheat code way to kind of do it. If you're utilizing singulars. You can do that and the train will go around. It's like a little bit of a cheat code for these quad stations. It is a little bit of a cheat code. Right, grab you in there. There we go. Now, to commit to this build, because it's like the deepest I've ever built before, it's 4.9 billion, which we're not that far off getting. We're just going to quickly reduce the amount of trains on this lilac line. So if I bring it down to, let's say, 25, 20, 15. Because this line I'm about to incorporate next is going to take a huge chunk of passengers away from us. Look at that right now. Look at that. Now, we're going to have 2 lines run on this. And one's going to turn off in a different fashion. Maybe it can be our little bit of our kind of like southern loop that we maybe create in the future. And then we're just going to have our passenger line, our faster line tear through it. That's what we will do. Right, we're still getting more train stuck on this. I'd like to know where the signal issue is. If anyone spotted like an issue, please let me know in the comment section. Could it? No, it can't do with the yellow line because it doesn't incorporate or merge with said yellow line. But I don't know where the issues lie or what's kind of tripping me up. I'm not particularly too sure on that. But lines in general... The lilac line is now down in 4th place. It's now reduced. How dare you? And, oh, we've got to do the same little trick here then if I wanted to kind of extend those green lines, which they are super deep. What are they, 20? 25? I forgot how deep I made them. 30? Oh, I'm on parallel. What am I doing? Right, there we go. So I need the grand total of 4.93 billion. Right, let's wait for that money to... Hold on, I think I discovered the lilac issue. They're actually not stopping here. It could be the issue. I'm not too sure. I was just double checking the line while I'm waiting for the money to roll in. We now have the money. But I'm just kind of going through it real quick. Everything else seems to... Oh no, we're missing one here as well. Okay, there's 2 spots I was missing. Stops. And that could have been the issue. I've also reduced the amount of trains as well. So we'll see if that issue still continues. Anyway, I can now commit to the blueprint builds, which is very expensive. This is like the most money I've spent in a single episode, isn't it? Right, get this done. Commit to these build, boys. Let's go, let's go. And then let's now sort out the rest of these lines. So the green line can now obviously go to both of them. And then it comes on the outside. So it goes on the outside and utilizes that little trick, see? To go around and then back up again. Very good. Confirm those changes. Right, and then the red line. We edit you. Now, eventually, both of these will extend. So it comes down to both of them. Oh, hang on. We got to add you on. And both of these. No valid path between stations? I didn't add the crisscross, did I, boys? Didn't add the crisscross over here. There we go, build blueprints. Telling you, one day I will get it all right. But that day is not today. That day is not today. Well, come on, blueprints. It just takes seconds to build that. Edit the route. So confirm in here. Okay. And then them two stops there. And that stop there. Right, we all good? We're all good. Confirm those changes. Right, so they now extend down beautifully to this, which is going to be quite a busy stop for this new express line that we've created. So my express line is not going to stop at all the stops we've just created for the line that it's going to run on. I just like you all to know this, okay? I just want you all to know this. Right, I need a custom color now. Now we get into custom color modes. So let me see. We have we're going to go, we'll go light green. There is such thing as a light green. We'll go light green line. The light green line, guys. And we'll make it neon-y. I mean, it's not really light green. It's lime. No. Oh, we call it the lime line. There we go. The lime line. Nice. Edit the routes. So this would start on the outskirts. So we'll pick it to start here. To which it then, again, it has to now. It's the express line, okay? So what it does is we'll have a stop here because that's, if you're coming this way and want to go that way, that's how we got to get it set up. So apparently we don't have a, oh, snap, we don't because I didn't. What a fool. I didn't incorporate the bend going round. Right. Let me just figure this out. Ugly, don't judge me. Okay, I've just kind of quickly thrown something together. Just don't judge me, okay? We were going so well until I built that monstrosity. But it's okay. It should do the job. It should do the job. Right, this lime line, where was we with this? So, like I said, it's an express route, so it only stops where lines cross. So I know it picks up people there. Then, because this line will connect to this line here, we'll have its first stop there. But why can't it build now? It can go round. It comes off there, connects into there. Going all the way down. That should turn off here. Or am I doing this side? How is there no valid paths now? What am I now missing? Or if I come off this bit here and then go there. Right, there to there works, right? Oh, I think it's because doesn't it have to go all the way down to here? Right, I'm about to pull my hair out right now. What this goes in the middle when it should connect to the outside? I found the issue, boys. So all I need to do is just delete this track here and here, and then delete again. And then what we'll do is we'll build tracks, and they're a -5. So I bring this to a -10, and then we do a single to kind of run in there, but obviously I got to get a little bit closer to avoid the building. Why is that not letting me now select it? There we go. There we go. To then run you right down. Whereas this should run pretty smooth. Right, and then that can go straight. Right, 20 minutes. Oh, I ain't got enough money to... Wait, I haven't got enough money to build this. This is like the cheapest part of all of it. What are we talking about right now? How much is to build that? 108 million? And you what? I haven't got enough for it right now? Who do you think you are, boys? Right, if this doesn't work right now, I'm going to cry again. Now we got to wait 20 years for this to build. I'm going to cry again if this doesn't work, guys. Senia crying live on camera. Right, so we're over here, sorry. There to then here. Okay, it finally works. So where was I? We stopped there. It goes round. Its first stop is not then here, because obviously if you're coming down, if you want to go to JFK and you're here, you could kind of switch on the express to kind of go through. Our next stop wouldn't be until here. Okay. Then our next stop then on the express route won't be until this station. It's where they crisscross. Okay, that's all I care about. Next stop is then not till here. Which, unfortunately, we're going to have to do a crisscross stop there. And then going all the way down, we'll have to do a crisscross stop here. Where it connects to that line. And then that's where, because there's no other crissy-crossies, it goes all the way to the airport. So now, on the way back, I'm just going to make it stop at the opposite side. That's all I've got to do. So the difference is... Oh, have I selected the wrong one? Yeah. The difference is there's less stops, and it's quicker than the lilac line. Oi. I'm trying to select you. It's quicker than the lilac line. All right, there. And I think that's the last stop, isn't it? On this lime route. That is the last stop. So where it took an hour and a half on the lilac line to get from Newark to JFK, it takes 40 minutes. So more than half the time. More than half the time on the express route. Now confirm those changes. Trains for these. We will add... Is 15 too many? Let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. So, that lime line will become quite interesting, I think. It will become quite interesting. We've got two routes to the airport. One's a commuter line, one's an express line. But the express line... Now, the more I think about it, the express line, this should have all been quad stations, shouldn't it? To make use of all of this. And that's something I'm going to have to eventually go back and update. But the idea is there. I'm now realizing all of this should have been quad if I want to run a commuter line as well. We've got it here, going all the way down to there. So it works to that point. It just can't do this bit, which is a shame. But at least we now understand and we know. We now understand and we know. But what a glorious route that is. So not enough time has passed by yet. And the lilac line has not complained about the signal issue. So I think that's because I was missing a few stops. We're all okay now. And of course, the lilac line should now technically drop in passengers. It might either actually increase in passengers because we kind of connected more people to it with the lime line. But the lime line needs the commuter route running along with it. The red and green line can now extend further down. We've read on that station in Manhattan. There we go. The lime line is now kind of slowly growing up. So things are going to plan. They are now going to plan. And it's actually quite terrifying how it's now all coming together. So before we end it then, we're making, well, we did actually go up to making nearly 2 billion in profit a day before then I messed everything all up, but now we've got everything all back in again. We might actually go over the $2 billion a day, which is interesting. Yeah, I'm liking this. So we do need to redo this section of the lime line to incorporate the quad lines so I can get the commuter line running alongside it as well. And then we have an express route to JFK, but also, you could also argue I don't need to, but I do need to utilize some stations. But I can also connect other lines to these that kind of bend through, so that's very exciting. I now have the ability also to bring this down, cutting through. And then also, maybe then start thinking about creating our little loop system. So everything is all coming together. What an extension, boys. I do apologize for this being such a long episode, but what an extension right there. If you did enjoy this, please smash the like button down below, subscribe if you are new, and until next time I will see you all soon, so goodbye.